Hi everyone, this is Brian Gundy from For Goodness Snakes out of San Jose, California. It's February 26th, 2010, and I've been asked by some people to put a video together to talk about egg laying and incubation. And since this is that time of year when we will start to see some clutches drop, especially ball python clutches, and a little later probably some colubrid clutches for those colubrid breeders out there. I thought I'd talk to you guys about the setup that I use to incubate my ball python eggs. Well, this is basically what I use. It's a shoebox. Don't know the exact dimensions. Looks like about 7 inches wide by probably about 12 or 13 inches long, and probably about 3.5 inches or so, maybe 4 inches deep. And I use vermiculite. I live out here on the West Coast, so I can go down to a couple of the local hardware stores, whether it's Home Depot or Orchard Supply, and buy vermiculite. And I use a recipe that I learned a long time ago. I use a 1-to-1 ratio by weight with water. And so I wanted to explain that to you before I have some more questions. So what I'm talking about when I say a 1-to-1 ratio by weight, I'm talking about I actually put 250 grams of vermiculite in this tub. I will then put 250 grams of water, tap water, in this tub with the vermiculite. Mix it up for about 2 minutes, and then I'm ready to put the eggs in. Now, one thing about eggs is, everybody needs to remember this, is that the orientation of the eggs in which you find them in, it's very important that you maintain that orientation when you put them into the nest box. If you go into a situation where the eggs are laid and they're separated, you actually need to maintain that orientation. If they're laid and they're clumped together, stuck together, maybe you didn't find them until the next day or so, well, then it's pretty simple to put the whole clutch as one unit into the nest box. I bury the eggs so that they're about halfway down into the vermiculite. I drill an 1/8-inch diameter hole on either end of the box. That allows me to not be concerned about too much humidity or not enough. I'm able to leave the lid on here during the whole 60-day incubation period. This hole here allows a slight amount of ventilation to happen, which basically creates a situation where I don't have to worry. I put the eggs in here, I put the top on, I'm done. I'm ready to go, waiting for the next clutch of eggs. I incubate at 88 to 89 degrees Fahrenheit. I have a laboratory incubator that holds very true, but don't worry about it if it goes plus or minus of 88 to 89 degrees. A plus or minus a few degrees is not going to hurt anything. Ball python breeders seem to think that it has to be 88 or it has to be 89 degrees, exactly plus or minus 1 degree. Well, I'm telling you, from the colubrid days, where I used to actually incubate my eggs in my hall closet, in my linen closet, it works. Nature is not as exact as we might think it is, and variation in temperature within a particular window, an acceptable window, is just fine. So anyway, again, I use a combination of water and vermiculite. I don't use perlite. I've never used perlite. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not the person to ask. My friend Josh talked to me about that. Josh is out on the East Coast in New York. He talked to me about using perlite. I honestly can't give you any advice on perlite. I know people that use 50-50 vermiculite and perlite. Seems to work just fine. Anyway, that's the setup. 250 grams of vermiculite. That's what 250 grams of vermiculite looks like in this tub, and that's perfect for me. Then I'll put 250 grams of water, mix it up, put the eggs in, put the lid on, make sure I have these 1/8-inch diameter holes on either end. 88 degrees, 60 days, 55 days later, I have babies. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Some of you have been asking about this. Don't guess on your whether or not this feels like it would if it was, if it clumps together and things like that. Use a formula that you can rely on. Don't rely on, oh, okay, I'm going to put a little bit of water Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's not enough. If it's not enough, your eggs are going to dimple too soon. If it's too much, your your eggs aren't going to dimple at all. And you want the eggs to dimple within the last 12 days or so of incubation. So again, this 1-to-1 ratio by weight with water to vermiculite works for me. It's been working for about 20 years. I know there's a lot of other ways out there, a lot of other techniques to incubate eggs, and the bottom line is, as long as they work, it's a good technique. This technique works for me, and people have been asking about it, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. All right, Brian Gundy from For Goodness Snakes, wishing everybody has a great season. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.